Rod, you've been so patient, and I know as a person, to people that are listening, he's really a wonderful, wonderful person. He's very talented. And for people who might not know it, if you don't get him as a realtor, get him as a concert artist for your show because he also sings and he does emceeing. I have final moments with you. I hope you don't mind, Rod, but it's nice to really connect with you. It's been a long time since we've last talked. And this one is okay. What was the average time from listing date to contract date of sales normally? What's the average time?
Well, it depends on, again, this completely varies depending on where you are. But in here, it takes an average of 60 days from the time you take the listing until you close.
So that means if it's past that, there's a problem with the property.
Yeah, there's a problem with the property, or there's a problem with the price. You probably overpriced it. Buying it at that price, yeah.
Talking about pricing, what happens when there's a disagreement in terms of what price you offer compared to what the seller wants?
You just have to negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to negotiate. The market price, the fair market value of the property is any value that any willing and able buyer can bring into the table. So if the seller thinks, and usually the seller thinks that their house is magnificent and it's the high priced, and usually when the buyer comes in, they think that your price is a shack and they just want to buy it at a bargain.
Yeah.
So there's two different goals for the buyer and seller, and as a realtor, if you really have a good realtor who has really good negotiation expertise, you would be able to put those two objectives together in the middle, so both can accommodate each other's wants and needs. So, for example, if the price of the house is 500, that's what the seller thinks. That I think my house is 500, but then the buyer thinks that it's 400. Then my job is to be able to make sure that the buyer and the seller would be able to come into an agreement. That hopefully come to an agreement that the price they would accept would be 450. So it's the price is really depends on, and it's based mostly on comps. What was sold in the last 6 months. And they usually base it in comps because we want to make sure it appraises when we close escrow. But then again, there's nothing that would tell us that the fair market value of the property is just whatever the comp says. The fair market value is whatever the buyer is willing to pay for it.
Yes, that's correct. But is it a bad idea to sell your home and then withdraw it from the market because you didn't have any buyers and then put it back again after a time?
That's a tactic that a lot of agents use. I don't use it personally. I just put an explanation in there why it's taking longer. That I usually talk to the other agents that yes, we overpriced it at first, but we already made a reduction. That's the reason why it took longer. But again, agents do that because it looks like it's just been in the market, but that's not really it. If you have a savvy buyer who looks at the history of the property, they'll find out that you had listed it before. So I don't know. That's why I never really understood the methodology on why people doing that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
Agent told them to do it. That's why.
Yes. Rod, by the way, in your experience, when you advise the seller to sell it at a certain price, how close have you been to the selling price to what the buyer had bought the house?
My performance it's always been at the price or higher.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't. The only reason why it could go higher most of the time because I do what we call intelligent pricing. When comps are showing that the price is 500,000, I don't price it at 500,000. I don't price it higher than that. I price it at 4,999. I price it a little bit under, but not too much.
It's interesting how some realtors would say, offer your property low so that you will get a lot of offers. Is that a good idea?
Well, that's basically what I was saying. Is that's what we call the intelligent pricing.
But not very,
But
very low.
offering it way too low is way too much.
Yes.
Again,
Mm-hmm.
I question why the agents would suggest that. What is the rationale behind it? Because putting it too low means there's a problem with the property.
Uh-huh, I see.
Putting it just underneath, like 500,000, like pricing it like for 490, 491, just under that would tell them that, yeah, we price it aggressively, so go ahead and come and make an offer. That's basically what I'm telling. But again, you have to remember, Howie, that's the reason it's important for these people to interview their agents,
Right.
find out their qualifications, find out their performance, find out their negotiation expertise and experience. Because if you're getting an agent just because he's a realtor and never had any negotiation experience, good luck. And that's the reason I question people who prefers to get a realtor who just had his license a month ago over me for the same price. But again, that's their loss.